Trans-Tasman rivalry is eternal, and today you're invited to watch another instalment with the next generation of stars crossing paths. Tina Koto, hello and welcome to Viking Park in Canberra for the first of two matches with the Australian schools and under-18s up against the New Zealand secondary schools. Pass away, Ballinger in the red headgear does well. Now the forwards linking up very tidily. The front rowers, Barrett and Pereira. Up high from Prass. That's going to be pretty dangerous. I think Xavier Rubens is going to be in a spot of bother here.
It's a great kick from Finn Prass. He'd forced a mistake in the air, and then Rubens just lost sight of this.
Ball in the air. Black player's got up the catch. Number 13's taking his leg blows in the air. He's laying on the back of his head. I'm at red card. Do you agree? $13. I got no other options to red card. No, he's not really.
And it's by the letter of the law. The red card was justified.
Okay.
Strong stance we've seen in recent years when it comes to playing players in the air, and especially around the safety of players when it comes to head contact. So they'll be down to 14 players for the remainder of the match.
Yeah.
So successfully they take it as the forwards link up off the back. Leteu goes himself, steps around the first. He's 3 metres away, still fighting, tooth and nail. Short is the call from Myers, held up. And the score remains deadlocked still.
It's a powerful run from Leteu. Carried 3-4 gold jerseys over the line. Goddard got in there late to get on the ball.
And just an absolute corker of a game so far. What I've found on the sideline here is the teams just seem to be pushing things a little bit too much and just rushing things a little bit too much to try and get those first points on the board, which I'm sure are going to come eventually.
Australia now have given away the penalty advantage, and Basin flies through. It was a wonderful effort to steal it, but they'll play the penalty.
Yeah, and interesting to see what they decide to do here, Marty. We just finished speaking about getting first points on the board, and as I say that, Ollie Mathis points to the sticks.
Now the conversion from Simpson, and the deadlock is broken. 24 minutes in, New Zealand take a 3-0 lead.
Fine. 6.
Now another penalty for Australia. The scrum has been a sound investment. I'm sure it's bringing a tear to Greg Holmes' eye.
Absolutely, and it's probably a bit of a sign of when new teams come together, the attack doesn't quite gel, but if you can nail your defence, you can win these big games.
Now from very far out. What a show, and Australia tie it all up after Finn Prass brings out the driver. And it's 3-3 here in Canberra as we head to a break. So the pressure's on. Leteu for the throw. Combination Leteu to Tengblad. It's been solid as Mathis appears off the back again. Now a pick and go from Holland. The Australian defence holds. Wallace supporting. Here he is now looking for his own, and he gets it. Logan Wallace scores, and New Zealand take the lead 8-3.
Mathis peeled out the back, and he went close, and from there, it was the big forwards that rolled up the sleeve. Mathis went close. Logan Wallace sweating on it, dives over from close range and scores the first try.
Marty and Frizz, the Kiwis, finally get that first 5-pointer of the game. The Australian team have been very good defensively on their own line, but after sustained 5 or 6 minutes of pressure on their own line. They couldn't sustain any longer.
Wonderful tuning in for the boys, but make sure you tune in for the girls too. It'll be a hell of a match across the ditch. Now it's here for Prass. He's had a big 64 minutes, and he's been caught out there. That's a great little bit of counter-rucking by New Zealand as we come into the final 15 minutes where points have been rarer than hen's teeth.
Yeah, and right on cue, Marty, the New Zealand schools opt to go for the sticks. And the Aussies, I mentioned it before, just getting a little bit too flat in their attack. It's really easy to come up and defend and shut them down. We've seen them get stuck between the 15s against this up and in pressure from the Kiwi defensive line, and Prass gets isolated. This now to take it out to 2 scores.
And it's all good, and New Zealand have a lead of 10. New Zealand, a nice lead now, bit of room to breathe and try their hands. Some fancy play. In the middle, Fowler, up and down. It's caught well by Sean Kempton. And the Ralston pathway player, a relatively unknown track, opens up the field to some fantastic passing. And Mathis, the captain's away on the left, and he will spin and crash in for a try. Here we go, New Zealand.
Oh, this New Zealand school side really going through their gears now, Marty. What a great passage of play that was. Some lovely hands through the middle of the field. And what about the pace from the captain, number 7, Mathis, down the left-hand touchline? But it was your man in the number 16 jersey, Sean Kempton, that started it all. Found his way on a loose ball and just pinned his ears through the middle. From here, this was great skill. Look at the skill here. Draw and pass, draw and pass, draw and pass, offload around the corner. And then Mathis, just too much speed for the cover defence. And too strong for the fullback. A great try from the Kiwis.
It's with Simpson. Brings it on back. What a kick. And New Zealand, with 17 unanswered points, take a very strong lead.
The up-tempo game from the Kiwis now coming to fruition. Kempton with a great run back and just the pure skill and offloading that we've seen many Kiwi teams over many years. And Mathis, the hit and the spin to finish things off.
Now a nice Crusaders under-18 contingent out there on the moment. Kempton, Muffy, Blakely. So we see Mathis again. This kid is unbelievable as he breaks away, gets the offload into the hands of Tengwan, and you'd have to think that might be lights out for Australia.
Yeah, the Kiwis running away with this one now, and Tengblad, the beneficiary of another Ollie Mathis masterclass. Bumped off one, broke into the backfield, found the offload. He is special, this guy, Marty.
And it all starts up here. The New Zealand basketball representative in Josh Tengblad gets this line-out started. He's been fantastic, but what an individual effort from Ollie Mathis. Cuts all the way through and gives it back to the man who bats it down in the first place.
Yeah, and it's great support play from the big man as well, down the middle of the field.
And Marty, just again, Ollie Mathis just showing how dominant a performance he has been. Patient right throughout this game, and it's not until the last couple of minutes where the Kiwis have really started to explode.
Blakely knew what was up. Now they're out to the left. They look like they're having fun. That's what Kempton's pass says exactly. Now on the left-hand side, Nafahu's through. Beats one, beats two. Keep going, young man. Where's a friend to help you? They'll fall just short. There it is, though. New Zealand. Charlie Sinton, they're playing off the cuff, and it looks fantastic. Barging through. Rangiwai Lunovic wanted to get it, but he's knocked it on in goal. So we'll go back to Australia, who are run off their feet at the moment.
Seki Fafita just stood up Prass in a phone box. Then he stood up the fullback as well. Just didn't have the pace to go all the way.
Then he gets back up and nearly gets the turnover. Jack in the box, he springs into action. Farley
Knock on advantage over.
And New Zealand back at the 22. Sinton inside for Kempton, who gets an offload away. Back to Farley, pops another one off. And Vakasiwala gets through. And New Zealand, what a performance here in Canberra.
And Vakasiwala's the man that scores the try, but here he is, Farley. He has one carry, gets up, cleans out, and follows through. Kempton gets the ball, powers through the defence, finds a beautiful pass to Vakasiwala, who goes through and scores under the sticks, but impressive stuff.
An easy one in front for Simpson. He's 100% off the boot. So the final 60 seconds here in Canberra. Kempton's throw will go long and be grabbed up there by Bryle. Australia, a rare touch here in the second half as Palmer decides to do it all himself. And I think they may just create some magic here with seconds to go off the deck. It's there with Whakapanua. He doesn't have the horsepower.
Top the foot.
Now it's there with Sharples. Australia scrambling to cross that white line just once before we go to full time. The Australians, slip of the tongue, I'm sorry folks, but a knock on. And that is full time. It is a comprehensive victory to the New Zealand secondary schools. They down Australia 34-3.